What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Wolf Podcast. This is episode 7. And today, my guest is Nick, an ex-car salesman who stumbled upon hail sales this year and has been killing it ever since. Nick, welcome.
What's up, man?
Thanks for joining me today.
Yes, sir.
All right, so we'll get started. Name, where you're from, and how did you find iHail?
My name's Nick. Before this, I'm from Florida, Tampa, Florida, where the beaches are at. The sun's always out. Just always lived there my whole life, pretty much. Just different places in Tampa Bay for the most part. And the way I found this job was just on Indeed. Just kept on popping up, and I was like, let me see what this is about. It was at a time when I was taking a break from selling cars, just wanted to find something new. I had done AT&T before I did this, door knocking, and kind of liked it. The money was good, but then learning about this job, career, I think this one outweighed the other door knocking job. So I just hit you up and went for it.
Now you're here.
Yes, sir.
All right, so walk us through your early work history. So what you did prior to finding sales, and then your first commission-only sales gig, then car sales, then ultimately finding hail sales.
So my first jobs were just, regular jobs. I worked at Walmart, different like restaurants, serving, fast food, just odd jobs, just getting a regular hourly wage. But then I stumbled into car sales, and they were kind of like, it's commission only. There's no cap on how much you can make or how long you could work for. Because when I had these regular jobs, I was always the type like, I want everybody's shift. I want to work here as much as possible, get overtime, just trying to make as much as I can. But they limit you. You can't get all the hours and get all the pay. So once I fell into car sales, it just light bulb in my head. I was like, this is exactly where I need to be. I wasn't too worried about commission. I just believed in myself all the way. And it was at a kind of a tough time in my life too. And I made it happen. It kind of just came naturally to me. And it's funny because the first dealership I worked at, they fired me after like 2 weeks, but they had a different location, like right up the street. And the manager from there saw me waiting outside for the bus. He was like, why are you outside? He's like, the finance guy told me to go home. He just said it wasn't working out for me. And I was just like, dang. And he was like, man, just come over to our other lab. We can start working right now. And then sure enough, that's when it kind of kicked off. And I was selling like 2-3 cars a day for like weeks straight at a time, and fell in love with commission.
You're coming off a huge week. This is your first $5,000 plus weekly check. What does that feel like?
Felt good. Felt like the work is starting to pay off. The pipeline just keeps on growing. And, as long as I keep getting the cars in, it's only going to get bigger and bigger,
For sure. You've got some good momentum that you're riding on right now. Thinking back to, the moment when you decided to pull the trigger and jump on the squad, what is it that made you get in your car and drive all the way from Tampa to St. Louis? We were working St. Louis at the time, to come on out.
I was excited to experience something new. And I remember I talked to you a lot before I came, just trying to like understand the process, because I never knew anything about hail, being from Florida, obviously. But what stuck out to me most was just how the deal works. Like, they just had to have dents on their car and full coverage insurance, essentially, and that could be a possible deal. And, with car sales, it's like, does this person pay their bills, have good enough credit, have a job, they make money? Do they have money right now to put a down payment? So, like, I was great at my job, but my money was really determined on, can this person even buy a car? So that was a big thing that would like kind of not necessarily like knock my momentum up, but like, got bills to pay. I got a son to feed. Like, I didn't want my money in that person's hands, essentially, even though I was in full control, but I couldn't control that part, So coming out here to chase storms was something that I wanted to do. And I've thought about like storm chasing before, just I didn't think about it in this way. You get what I'm saying? But I do like it. Definitely excited or happy that I came. And when I first did come, I was nervous because I was like, I don't even usually live with roommates. I like living by myself, but everybody was pretty welcoming. It just feels like a squad of we're a team, a family essentially, and everyone gets along great. Everyone helps you out when you first get here. And any questions I ever had, the boys were always able to answer them for me and give me more advice.
Yeah, you definitely have the support that you need for sure. You touched on something just a minute ago about there were kind of some external factors in car sales, and
Yeah.
you hear this a lot from not just car sales, but any kind of retail sales like
Mhm.
phones or something like that, where there can be other factors that determine your paycheck that are kind of out of your control. And the biggest thing is, the opportunities to pitch, so to speak. If you're
Yeah.
selling cars or if you're selling phones, you only are able to pitch as many customers that come on the lot or come into the store.
100%.
Whereas with this, there's unlimited opportunities, so to speak. There's thousands and thousands of people with hail damage on their cars. So it's like you're unleashed in terms of your ability to go out and produce.
Yeah.
Did you kind of feel that way when you
No, yeah, exactly.
were
You're
starting?
you're in full control of your money. Like now I'm just like when I first started, it was kind of hard to see the damage on the cars. I had to like really look super hard. But now that like I've been doing it for a little while now, like I got the eyes, I could see it. And I got more like confidence, just to look at a person's car. At first I was a little nervous, but I still would try to at least see it. And but again, like the team, they were really good at helping me learn how to even find the damage, telling me like places to go where, if you go there, you're gonna see it pretty well. And yeah, I mean, just finding the damage is hundreds of cars, thousands of cars that are hits. I mean, they're all a deal possibly.
Definitely. What's the one skill that you learned in the car business that transitioned well into hail sales?
Um, how to just keep on pushing for the sale, essentially. Like, no is never an answer that I'm willing to accept, honestly. But sometimes the no's are a no because they absolutely can't. But I mean, if it's a potential deal and they're saying no, it doesn't stop me. I'm looking at dollar signs when I see the dents on the cars nowadays.
That's the biggest thing I noticed from you in particular, coming to the squad is I'll just call it persistence.
Yeah.
Because I call all of your guys leads, and if someone ever answers and they say that they're not interested or whatever, for whatever reason I'm not able to close them, I noticed you in particular would have me call them again and again and again. And I just love that because it's like they say they're not interested,
Yeah.
but what they're saying is they're not interested in that moment. It
Exactly.
doesn't mean they're not going to be interested later this week or later this month. It's just in that moment they're
Mhm.
not interested, but it's up to us to create the interest and to create the value of the sale.
100%. Yeah, started. That's what I'm trying to get better at now too, is creating a problem for these people, creating urgency. Cause yeah, like it can make sense to wait and not get your car fixed, but once you kind of paint that picture of like what could possibly happen when you don't get the car fixed, it easily outweighs the pros of getting it fixed, and that's what a lot of people just don't understand.
Eliminating the pain
Yeah.
for sure.
Mhm.
Now, what would you say is your biggest challenge that you've experienced as a rookie this year?
Um, Probably just when I didn't know like the program, all of like the different we call them smoke screens, and some people think those are like objections when it's in fact not. It's just something that someone just kind of like defaults
For the
to.
audience that doesn't know, what is a smoke screen?
Smoke screens like an excuse essentially to not do something when in all reality they should do something, but it's not like a really dead set reason for why they can't. It's just why they don't want to. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Yeah. So just kind of learning those and sometimes I'd be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And I'll kind of leave it at that, thinking that it's a dead deal. But then I've learned I was like, nah, it's just something they kind of said to get you away. Like whenever someone asks, like, do you have a card? That's never like I want your card. That's a polite, can you leave me
Please,
alone?
please go away. Yeah.
Yeah. So nowadays, just talking through them and just we call it looping. We kind of just keep on talking around what they're trying to say they don't want to do, and then just bringing it all back full circle to like, well, this is why you should take care of it, you know?
Building up the value for the customer and making them see
Yeah.
why they should get it done for sure. Now that you've been through a few storms already, what's the biggest piece of advice that you would give a rookie salesman starting out today?
Um, to just get as many reps in as possible because you'll get better with every door for one, and two, like the next door could just be like a great person, a good individual that's open minded, or maybe they were already in the process and you were literally that problem solver that they needed because they don't even know the process. But something that I do tell all the new guys that come in after me is just listen to our recordings because we record every conversation. So that way you could just already kind of like know what people are going to say at the doors, and you could hear how like some of the guys that have been doing this for a lot longer, how they handle it. So that way you could learn how to handle it as well in the most like efficient way. Like when I started, I was writing down everyone's kind of pitches because I noticed like a lot of them kind of had the same way to explain stuff. So I would like write them down, really study, you know, really put in the effort at nighttime to have a good day the next day and actually learn like the material and the resources we were given, you know. It's crazy. A lot of the new people you hire don't ever like do the stuff you sent out. And I was thinking in my head, I was like, if I don't do this, I'm not going to have a job.
It's the most common sense thing we tell new guys to do is just listen to the recordings because it's the one thing that can shorten the learning curve just the greatest because
Yeah.
you have a treasure trove of recordings of success that our veteran sales reps have produced over the years where it's like there's no need to reinvent the wheel. Just listen to what the guys that are saying that are having success and implement your own style to it and you'll see success at the doors.
Yeah, I remember I would listen to every recording. Like the go backs, I think are like the evals are obviously the best recordings because those closed, but the go backs I like listening to a lot too because you hear how these guys that have been doing it a lot longer deal with these quick rejections and how they overcome them. They might not get the close, but there'd be some sauce in those go back recordings I've found.
There's definitely some sauce in
Yeah.
a lot. I mean, every type of recording, whether it's a go back or not, or an eval or whatever. But yeah, plenty of knowledge in those recordings. Nick, you were definitely one of our top guys this year and having a great first year in the Hail game. Give us some of your daily habits of discipline that you do to stay centered and focused.
Okay, let's see. For one, you know, brush your teeth every morning. Can't be at the doors with some bad breath. Two, don't be late to the meetings because then you gotta do burpees of some sort. But no, for real though, I'm not as consistent as a lot of other people are, but trying to make the most of the day. Like we have a very flexible schedule. Like y'all haven't really ever gotten on me about slacking off sometimes because I don't tend to, but I know I could do better at working in the mornings, you know, like going to gas stations, lots, trying to pick a couple off there, or even hitting the doors in the morning just to get those morning reps in. But making the most out of the afternoon is super important. Like there were days in Texas, I remember, where I was just going and setting evals and it's nighttime behind me. Like it's getting dark. And I was actually talking to Ricardo about it at my one-on-one because he says it all the time. He's like, don't regret not working your hardest now and regretting it later, you know? And that's something that resonated in me because I'm here on a mission that's to come back home and, you know, I haven't been to my family for a while. So I definitely want to come back home and be able to spend a lot of time with them and make a lot of memories with them by having that bag to go to Disney like every other day if I want to.
For sure.
Yeah,
Keeping the mission bigger than yourself, doing something special for your family and just being able to have that time with them and like really enjoy the off season.
exactly.
Well, Nick, I will say you're on a great track so far. You've proven that you can learn a system, have the daily discipline, and take the necessary steps to have success. So can't wait to see what the rest of your journey looks like. And yeah, man, it's going to be fun.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for joining me today.
Yes, sir.
All right.